hit.
Oh yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, all right. I mean, Carlos was on here last week, and he predicted a few things that kind of came to fruition. So yeah, it's super cool to see some of the theories going out. I think we all knew. I think we all knew that they weren't going to waste Amelia Clark like that.
Yeah, no,
Hmm.
we all kind of
So
knew that.
we weren't
Oh
surprised
yeah.
at that. So let's see what we have. But I want to introduce our newest guest, Blair. Welcome to the show, Blair. How are you?
Very, very, very good. Thank you guys for having me so much. I am excited to talk about this episode with y'all because I love the MCU and I could probably talk about it till my face turns blue. So,
Oh, nice. And I love the She-Hulk shirt. Love it. Love
oh
Mm-hmm.
it.
yeah, yeah. I had to have an attorney at law shirt. So yeah.
Ah, awesome. Tell us a little bit about yourself, other than the fact that you're a Marvel nerd.
So I am a lawyer and I practice family law. So I do all the fun stuff, like divorce and custody and child support and all that jazz. So,
Oh, cool. See
um,
you in a few years. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah,
What?
I hope not. I hope
Just
not.
kidding.
I always joke with my clients, like, I hope I never see you again,
A stuck foot of
because
line. Never, never.
yeah, but
uh,
no, it's I like it. I just like helping people, and it's one of the places where you get to do that most aside from criminal law. And so it's just what I've been doing. God, I've been doing it for like 13 years now. So, and I've lived in Fort Bend County, Missouri City, Texas my whole life, and I've grown up here. I love it here. And I don't know how this happened, but I've just been a huge nerd. I've always played video games. I've loved movies. I love comics. Like, so that's not going to change into my adulthood. So here we are.
that's awesome. Well, you have a safe space here at Salaam Nerds. We're all about the nerds over here. So super,
Mm-hmm.
super exciting. Um,
Nice.
All right, so let's talk about the show. The show starts off with Gaia not dying. She's basically alive, and we find out that she turned herself into a super Skrull, or so we think. She has the extremis powers where she used to heal herself. And did we see that coming? I wanted to know. I gotta be honest. I didn't see that coming. I didn't know she was going to do that. I thought there was going to be some other kind of explanation, but yeah, that came out of nowhere. Blair, what are your thoughts?
I didn't think that that was going to be how she did it, although I think that kind of goes to how smart she actually is, because, I mean, clearly she was like, he's going to figure this out just in case he catches me. Let me just go ahead and give myself some powers that might protect me from that. And so, I thought somebody was maybe going to like come along and like help her or something like that, but not that she would have gotten the powers or turned herself into a super scroll. I'm wondering if she only gave herself extremis or if she has other powers as well. That's my question.
That
Uh,
is a big question.
that is a big question.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Jad, did you see it coming or no?
I did not see that coming. No. I thought they were gonna be like, oh, we're gonna put a different scroll here that had Amelia Clark's face, and that
Yeah.
one actually died. No, this was definitely not expected.
But you know what
Hmm.
the funny thing is? In hindsight, it was so obvious that that was what's going to
Right.
happen because she literally goes up to the doctor who was doing the experiments on the scrolls and making the super scrolls, and she takes her memory. So if you paid attention to who that person was that she went up to, and you noticed that she was the human form of the lady doctor who was doing the experiment calculations, you probably could have picked it up that, oh, she was stealing the information on how to make the scrolls and what to do. So in hindsight, it makes a lot of sense. But when we were watching it, we didn't know. So that's a really cool thing about this show, where they could, in plain sight, they tell you what they're doing, and you still couldn't figure it out. I
Mm-hmm.
do like that. And then we go into 2012, the Battle of New York, and we see Nick Fury walk into a diner, um, and he meets his wife there. What were your thoughts about that conversation,
I
Jazz
mean, I think
or
they knew.
Blair?
I
Sorry.
I think they knew each other before that because they kind of implied that
Yeah.
what was it in the 90s when they first met, when they were in the group and they were forming the organization, and
Yep.
Gravik was a kid, and so they've obviously known each other for a while now, and I think she was kind of part of his little team
Yep.
for a while, I would assume. Um, and yeah, I mean, I actually thought that was great writing how they showed that moment that they were having together, and then later when they're sitting at the table with their guns, like they repeat that conversation. Like, I don't know, I just really love that moment.
It
It
was
did. That's
cute.
one of the highlights of
Mm-hmm.
the episode. There's a lot of, I would say, layers to that conversation. Even the layers of her picking that particular skin, which is kind of interesting. We'll talk about that because she does say later on that she picked that skin particularly for him to get through his defenses, which is kind of wild. So there's a lot of layers to this, but let's go into. We see a female scroll in the shower, um, and we realize that that scroll finally is Rhodey. So scroll Rhodey, Scrody, whatever you want to call him. um,
Okay.
it's interesting to me that he is being played by a female scroll because he does have a little bit of flair, I would say, than normal Rhodey does, and I thought that was pretty interesting. Also, Scroll Rhodey watches wrestling, talking about DDTs and the Undertaker. First of all, the Undertaker doesn't do DDTs off the top rope, all right? That's not an Undertaker move, so he got that wrong. But yeah, I think it's funny that the Undertaker and WWE is now canon in the MCU. I think that's hilarious.
It is what it is. Like, I mean, it's a interesting little touch on how they made them more human, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But I just did not expect that. Like, I didn't think Rhodey would be the kind to watch wrestling, but okay, here we are.
Yeah. Well, it's Scroll Roadie. Yeah. So we'll see. What were your thoughts about Scroll Roadie, Blair?
So I actually called this last episode because, you know, first of all, I thought it was weird that Rhodey was being so aggressive with Fury because
Yeah.
that's just it was just kind of like it was slightly in character with the snarkiness, but it was just like a little too strong. So I was like, well, this is a show about like anybody could be a scroll, so maybe that's it. But I kind of like let it go. But then like when he was when she went to go to the bank to get whatever it was she was getting out of the bank, the gun, or I think it was, and she took that phone call.
Mm-hmm.
I could just tell that it was his voice.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I was like, that's Rhodey talking to her. Like, so that means that like Rhodey's a scroll, especially if, you know, she's talking to him about Gravik and like, so so I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, it's gonna come out that Rhodey's a scroll and you know, and then they just come out with it like right at the beginning. It was interesting that it was a female because that's what I told my husband and I were watching it because when we saw the last episode, I was like, oh, that's Rhodey's voice. That's Rhodey's voice. And then I was like, is that a woman scroll like playing Rhodey? Like, and I also wonder like what her position is in the hierarchy of the scrolls because in the we'll get to it later, but like in the attack on the president, she just kind of sat there and she's acting like she's got a lot of authority in this plan. So I don't know what her role is going to be.
Yeah, I think Scrody is pretty high up there, and I did notice that she was just chilling in the van while all the fireworks are going off.
Yeah.
Like just chilling, nothing
Yeah.
happened. Yeah, Jazz, what are your thoughts about Scrody? I mean, I know a lot of us called it, but I'm really glad that he is the scroll because for him to go around saying I'm gonna carpet bomb this person and that person really
Mm-hmm.
struck me the wrong way. I was like, if that's real, Rhodey, I'm gonna have to reevaluate how I feel about this guy.
Yeah. I mean, y'all just called it. Yeah, like I can't really add more to the conversation with what you said. I don't like exactly as like I didn't see. I mean, we all knew it was coming. I didn't know how high up of the hierarchy Scrody was gonna be. I'm just curious to see where it's gonna play out.
I like how
Only
Scrooge is
2 more
catching on. I
episodes.
I
can't
Damn,
believe there's
know.
only two
wrap
more
up.
episodes. So I
Like,
think
yeah.
what they're going to do is what they always do, and the fourth episode is going to be like tons of flashback and exposition and stuff like that. And then the fifth episode, the last episode, is going to be just all bonkers and everything's going to go all out. That's usually how they do the 6 episode pattern if you watch all the other
Mhm.
shows. So we'll see.
I hate this 6-episode pattern. You know what, Disney, if you're listening once again, please stop with this nonsense. Give us 8 to 10 episodes, even 12 per season. Come on, it's not that difficult.
While,
You only
while
got to
you're
make them like 30 minutes. It's
Oh no,
oh, did we lose her?
I think we lost her. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say, like, while you're at it, Disney, why don't you pay the actors and the writers while you're at it?
God, yeah.
yeah,
Bob
no
Iger.
kidding.
Oof.
Yeah, I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I did think it was interesting how Fury was like, you know what? They have to depend on the goodwill of our hosts, and they will see us. And no, I don't think he said that. I think it was Talos who
Caleb
said
said
that.
that.
Said that.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting how like Gaia knows Talos's plan and he knows Gavik's plan, and she's just like, both of these idiots don't know what the hell they're doing because both these plans sound horrible. What are your thoughts about Gavik's plan versus Talos's plan? Blair, you want to go first?
So obviously, Gravik's plan is crazy town, but I mean, it's as far as like Talos, I think he is being a little bit naive. All I could think about as an American is like, wow, you are seriously overestimating our generosity.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, I guess thanks for the vote of confidence, but so I think he's being a little bit naive, especially because America has a history of like just overreacting, and so to anything that they perceive as a threat, and so it's just we'll see how that plays out. I mean, I think that obviously he's going to know that Skrulls exist because obviously everybody saw Talos when they were rescuing the president, and the president's going to have to be told what happened. I didn't think that Talos was going to die, or at least it looks like he died, because I thought that Talos was going to go with them, and then that's how they were going to ease the president into knowing that Skrulls exist and yada yada. And then nope, then they just threw a wrench in that plan.
I gotta say, out of 4 episodes, 3 of them have somebody dying at the end. That's
Yes.
it's getting a little like, I don't know, it's getting old, I guess. Like I know Tyler dying is a big deal, but since they killed everyone every episode, I was like, oh, another person dies.
Yeah, they're it's almost like they're taking all of these people's complaints about how nobody dies in the MCU like way too seriously.
Yeah, and now they're killing everybody without giving him a good storyline. Like,
Yeah.
I still am pretty pissed off about Maria Hill. Like, Maria Hill needed a great story. She needed something because she was been there for like 10 years, man.
Oh, yeah.
Give her a nice send off. This was not. I just hate that. Jazz, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys on that. Everyone keeps dying. I feel like it's like Game of Thrones almost. Just, you never know who could die. But, let's do it randomly here and there. We'll kill Talos. We'll kill Gaia. We'll kill Maria Hill. And, yeah, Maria Hill won. I was like, are you kidding me?
Oh,
She's
that
been
just
in this
killed me.
franchise for 10 years, and this is how you do this?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like
Mhm.
Colby Smulders just, like, being done with the MCU, and she just wanted to, like, get out. But, like... oh... Or maybe it's just that the writer's strike came early for the show and they sabotaged it.
They should have called the episode where Kobe Smulders died "How I Met Your Murder."
Oh my god!
Oh man, corny joke of the day.
Of the
I just
hour.
think with her, what I'm gonna miss the most is like she had such great like camaraderie with Fury.
Yeah.
That I will miss that if she's truly gone. Like, I mean, because it wouldn't be the first time they fake someone's death in this, whole thing, but it doesn't look like it's fake. So I mean,
No,
it's
it
just,
doesn't.
but
Also, I was gonna
hopefully they'll
say-
replace her with like Olivia Colman or something because I love her.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Mhm.
Also, I think Jazz mentioned Game of Thrones earlier. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the way Gaia comes back to life is shot for shot the same way Jon Snow comes to life. Like they
Yeah.
focus on like the person, and then she just like jumps up with the gasp. And I was like, oh, they totally did that for Jon Snow. They totally
They
did
totally
that.
did, yeah. We all
That
noticed
was
it.
awesome.
I had to mention it. I was like, no, there's no way. Like, come on, guys. Be a little original here.
I know. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's not original. I say it's more like an homage, like a little bit of an Easter egg.
Sure, fine. Okay.
All right.
They're both in the MCU now, so
Oh yeah, they are. That's interesting.
Khaleesi becomes a Skrull agent.
Yeah.
The crossover we didn't know we needed.
Scrolly. What did you guys think about Priscilla's story? How she went into healthcare and she found somebody who had a heart defect, and she basically took over this person's life. And she went and found someone who would slip under Nick Fury's defenses. So she purposely looked for like a black woman who was dying to take her life. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yo, I'm gonna go first on this one.
Yeah, go Jazz.
oh,
That was fascinating, especially the 3 conditions that she gave her to take over her identity. Like, I was blown away at the depth of that conversation in this show. For her to acknowledge, like, okay, yes, you can take my life as long as you do these 3 things. Like, you know, don't hurt people, don't hurt Nick Fury's particularly. Like, wow. Like, did Priscilla know Nick before? Like,
I don't think so.
that's
I
the
don't
thing.
think so.
It almost felt like she did for her to say, "Don't hurt Nick Fury."
I think she told her about her. I think that because she asked her,
Yeah.
she's like, "Would
They
you
probably
like
shared
would you like to
stories.
fall in love?"
Yeah.
Like she asked her that, and I think she probably, in telling her that she was going to take over her life, that Nick Fury was in her life, and that she probably did have feelings for him because they worked so closely together and they probably got along really well. And you know, then she swoops in, you know, with this person's, personality. But so he knew that she was a Skrull the whole time, right?
Yes.
I'm
Nick Fury
pretty
always
sure.
knew she was a Skrull.
Yeah. Okay. Because it was weird how she was like, "Would you have loved me if I'd have been my true self?" But it's like, were you not being that? I mean, I know you weren't like in Skrull form, but I mean, he knew you before, so I don't know. But I thought that was interesting that she said that.
Yeah,
I think
there's
she
so
meant-
many layers.
I think
I
she said
know.
that because she picked a woman who would be exactly his type, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
And because like even if you look at the first episode when Nick Fury comes into the bar, there's another black woman who kind of looks like Priscilla, and he kind of smiles at her, kind of letting you know, hey, Fury had the type. And then she knew that, and she chose someone of that, look and I guess mannerism, etc. And she probably wasn't herself. And I guess like pretending to be this person for so long, she kind of became this person. And when he asked, like, when she asked, like, would you have loved me if I was myself? He was like, I guess we'll never know, which I guess that's fair.
Yeah, that line hit a little deep. I was like, oh, God.
I
damn,
know. I
okay.
was like, "Oh, is he just gonna walk off without answering?" It's like, ouch.
Yeah. What's up, Benji? Benji's in the comments. Yeah, Benji, we were just talking about some of the stuff that's going on with this secret invasion. So let's go on. Let's get on with it. Let's see what else.
No, we're jumping back and forth. It's kind of weird.
So
I know.
how about Fury versus Rhodes? When they're talking about having that conversation, to me, the way Fury is talking to Rhodes, to me, it always felt like he was trying to figure out whether Rhodes is a real black man or not, or someone pretending to be a black man. Because these Skrulls are basically appropriating black culture, black skin, right? And I feel like someone who is authentically black would kind of know that. So him bringing up Pappy's drink and saying the word brother, he kind of trying to suss him out. And he knows he's a Skrull at this point, I believe. And I like their conversation that they had because he is totally just setting him up with the nanotechnology in his drink so he can spy on him, which I thought was pretty interesting. In fact, he pretty much just told him nanotech, and he still fell for it and drank it. I thought that was pretty interesting. What were your thoughts, Jazz, about the Nick Fury and Rhodes conversation?
That was a fun conversation. Like, he was threatening him while not threatening him, while slipping him something, while
Yeah.
being honest, while not being honest. It was a very interesting sequence of how that happened.
Yeah.
And the way they were talking, like Scrody really just absolutely fell for Nick's masterful play there. Like, this is Nick Fury spy. Like, he was just perfectly in character, knew exactly what he was doing. That video of him killing Maria Hill, well, Gravik killing Maria Hill as
Right.
Nick Fury, uh, I'm sure he expected it. I'm sure, like, there was no way
Yeah.
he didn't see that coming, especially because Maria told him, it was you. Like, he knew, right? And he saw the other Fury at that scene in Moscow.
Yeah.
So he definitely saw this coming. I think he was prepared for it, and I think he executed this plan masterfully. Like, it was just so well done.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. I mean, I think that it's always great to see Don Cheadle and Samuel L. Jackson on the screen together. Like, they're just so great, and they have this chemistry, even when it's technically not the real Don Cheadle character. He's supposed to be somebody else pretending to be him, but like, it's still so great. And I mean, Fury obviously was going in basically saying, I know that, you're not him. And I think that was what he was putting down. I think that the Scrody kind of caught on to that, which is why he reacted so defensively and pulled up the video and was like, you can't be coming in here. You can't be threatening me, like, blah, blah, blah. And I just think that they're going to have some kind of a showdown. Because doesn't this also imply that they've got Rhodey, like, held somewhere?
Yeah,
Like, they've captured him? Yeah.
That's
mean,
true. It depends, though. Like, how much of Rhodey's memories do they have, or how long has Rhodey been a Skrull? Like, I
Yeah.
think Kevin Feige said that there might be an Avenger who's been a Skrull for like a long time, which I don't know if it's true or if it's a rumor, but someone said that there is a chance that there is an Avenger who's been a Skrull the whole time, and I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
that would be wild.
It would.
I would hate it for it to be Rhodes, though, because like him and Tony had such a relationship. It would kind of water it down, the relationship they had. Also, maybe Terrence Howard could come back and become the Rhodes again.
I would die if that's the play they're doing here. That
Oh my
Terrence Howard was replaced with a Skrull, and we all just like didn't blink about it the entire time for the past 20 years.
I know.
He has like the best line, though. Like, I love that line when he comes in for the first time as Rhodey, and they give him this dialogue because he's clearly replaced Terrence Howard, and his first lines of the entire MCU movie is like, "It's me, I'm here, deal with it, let's go." Like, and it was totally intentional by the Marvel. Like, it's like, yeah, we replace the actors, so deal with it. It's great.
Yeah. Okay. I also noticed that like when Scrody comes to the president, he has alcohol on his breath, and he gets called out by the president, and he kind of just like the president's kind of like, all right, whatever. Why don't you go get some coffee? You're obviously drunk. And then you notice that they get into the stagecoach, which is a nickname for the president's Cadillac, and that's when Gavik comes and he shoots up the place, and that's when all hell breaks loose. And then Scrody just sitting there chilling, not a care in the world, just letting all this stuff happen. And they were like, make sure you know that they're the Russians. Make sure you put on a big fight and stuff like that. And they obviously like, it's definitely the Russians. I'm like, oh great, just because they spoke a word of Russian,
Right.
totally setting them up. What was your thought on the action sequence, Jazz?
Yo, the way they came with the helicopters and the way they did it, I was actually kind of surprised because, one, a presidential motorcade is a lot bigger if anyone's ever seen it. Like, there are like 50 cars, and they have all sorts of tech to see,
Yeah.
what's coming in, what's not. So seeing like 6 cars, I'm like, I don't believe this. Okay. There would have been way more protection there. On top of that, they were using Tahoes and like not.
But
the
they were in the
Escalades.
UK. Remember, they were in the UK.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The presidential motorcades always have
Yeah.
like 50 cars. Each car has a very specific purpose, right?
Well,
One's an ambulance. One has a nuclear codes. One has like yada yada
yeah,
yada.
but they
like,
would also have cleared the airspace too, right? If we're
they
really
would
thinking
have,
about
yeah.
it.
You would have seen it coming in. Like I didn't believe like these helicopters went under radar. Like no, you see that coming.
Unless the scrolls are high in the government and they mess with it.
Oh, maybe. Yeah,
It's
no,
true.
but no, my biggest pet peeve with that scene was the fact it was only 6 cars, and a presidential motorcade is usually like 50 cars, no matter where
Okay.
you go. Fun fact: that happens for both the president and the vice president. They exclusively do that just to make sure if one gets hurt, the other one's available to take command if they need to. But anyways, the action sequence itself was really cool. Like guns blazing, everyone firing, the bulletproof glass like actually withholding bullets, people fighting back. It was well done. I was impressed with that scene.
It was a pretty good scene. Blair, what are your thoughts?
I really liked it. I thought it was well done. I thought that it made me chuckle a little bit when Talos got hit and they, he was kind of changing, and one of the British soldiers was like, "Oh, there's an alien and he's trying to get at the president or whatever." And Fury was like, no, he's with me. And the guy's like, okay. And then he's
I
gonna
know.
go back to
He
Like,
questioned
no,
twice.
no,
He's like,
this one's mine. And
Yes,
the guy's like,
yes.
okay.
Yeah, but then I'm thinking, I mean, they've been through an alien invasion, they've been through Thanos. Like, I guess aliens are kind of like,
Well, wasn't that the
part of the
same
course.
soldier who Gavik took a place of? So was that
Yes.
Gavik the whole time then, maybe? Maybe that's why the soldier didn't shoot or think anything of it, because that was Gavik.
It's possible. I mean,
I didn't
he
even
was.
pick up on that.
That was the same soldier.
I have to go back and look because I don't remember. Because I think they were still shooting like scenes with Gravik, like taking fire and shooting at the soldiers and things like that. When that guy was doing that, like, oh, that
Yeah.
guy's trying to get the president. The alien's trying to get the president. And so I think he maybe just in the chaos and confusion, like probably took over as him, because I mean that other guy probably went off shooting and he's like, okay, I'm gonna go pick up Talos and like pretend I'm his friend. How did I think I looked away from the screen for like a split second. How did Fury know that wasn't him?
Because he picked up Talos.
Yeah.
Like,
you wouldn't do that. As a
Well-
soldier in that situation, your priority is to secure the president, not anybody
Well,
else
that's
in the
fair.
field.
Yeah.
that's fair.
So the moment he picked
Yeah.
him up, Fury was like, "What the hell are you doing? This is
Yeah,
against
I
all
didn't know
protocol."
if he had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if he had done something else, like flinched or winked or something, or I don't know. But yeah. So
Yeah, no, I think what happened was
Imagine
if
if
that
it
was
wasn't.
the same,
Fury
No.
just shot a random guy. I had a
but
hunch.
going back to what you were saying, like Neves, that that was the same guy who was called out. Oh, that's an alien, right?
Yeah.
I think that guy may have just died on the battlefield, and Gravik took his form last second.
That's
got his
possible, too.
memories.
Mhm.
Like, just to they're like, oh, you're dead. No one's gonna miss you. Let me take your form real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the confusion, I think that's what may have happened, and that's how he did that whole sequence.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we saw Gravik use the Groot power,
Groot.
which we finally got to see.
Oh
it.
boy,
Yeah. I
that
am
was actually a
Skrull.
little anticlimactic, honestly.
Yeah, because I really thought that scene was going to happen in like the last episode and it's going to be the big battle, but the big battle happened here. And I was like, huh, okay. So a lot of the scenes from the trailer, I feel like we've already seen, so I'm kind of excited for the next 2 episodes. I feel like a lot of the stuff that's going to happen in the next 2 episodes, we might not have been spoiled.
Mhm.
Yeah. Just seeing that scene there, I'm like, wait a second. That's where we're gonna use that scene? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That was the worst place to use it. Like, yo, give me a surprise. Show me like, him being down and out, and then he actually unleashes everything. And you're like, oh shit, we're not done yet. But
Yeah.
no, he just like casually used it. I'm like, oh, okay.
So far, we've only seen 2 powers. We see the Extremis and we've seen Groot. We have not seen Obsidian. We have not seen the Frost Beast. So I'm excited to see how that's going to look. I'm really, really excited.
I'm curious to see if it's gonna be all in one or if it's like the each limb kind of thing. But
yeah, I'm
we'll
really
see.
excited.
Oh, yeah.
I hope it's the limb thing. That's going to be cool.
That's a very good callback to the actual comics, which would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see that. And then obviously Talos gets shot. and then he dies. Poor guy. He gets
Does he
stabbed.
die?
Apparently.
I don't know. I think he dies, but who knows? We don't know. They just left him, so could be anything.
Yeah, we
I
really
know.
don't know. And then I
Yeah.
don't know what's gonna happen to Gaia after this. Like, is this more character development? Did somebody have to die for her to grow up a bit more? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, man. They should call this show like Home Depot because they're fridging everybody. You get a fridge.
They
You get a
are.
fridge.
And
It's like Lowe's.
I wanted like 2 more minutes after his death to like just give me like a little like I was like, please don't just let it. But I was like, this is where they're gonna end the episode. I just know it. I was like,
Yeah.
Then it went black, and I was like, nah, okay, I gotta wait a whole week for some
Yeah.
resolution here. So
Everyone's
Alright.
dying.
Yeah. So
mhm.
like overall, like I'm going to be real with you guys. This is not my favorite Marvel show. It's probably in like the bottom. Like I think what this Ruby said, she commented, "You get a fridge. You get a fridge." Oprah Neves, 2023.
Ruby's our resident historian. She's collecting lines from all of our podcasts, and one day we're just gonna have like her come on and go through everything we've said, all the stupid things we've done over the entire season. It's
Yeah.
Rudy,
great.
please
Have a retro episode.
have a OneNote where you're saving all of these, and we can just go through them because they're so funny. Without context, they're hilarious. Oh man, but yeah, I was saying like to me, this is trying to be like a spy show, and I'm gonna be real with you guys. Marvel already gave us an amazing spy show. It was called Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay, and that show was brilliant, and it was amazing, and it had the 22 episodes, which really fleshed out all the characters and made us really care about them and feel for them, and there were so many twists in that show. And then you have like the Secret Invasion comic where all the superheroes get replaced and stuff like that. Really, we haven't seen any of that. They were trying to make it its own thing, which I respect. But if you're going to try to make it its own thing, you got to come with some like really good storylines, really good action and plot, where really right now it's just people dying after every episode. That's really all it is. And there are a few parts of the show that are really great, but overall it doesn't have me super excited. I'm sorry to say. I don't know if you guys. I feel free to disagree with me. I want to be wrong. There's 2 more episodes left. I could totally change my mind. But after like the 4th fridging, like I was like, okay, guys, come on.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about the show overall? Jazz, you want to go first?
Sure. See, I was in your boat up until last week.
Mm-hmm.
This week I think they kind of moved in the right direction until the very end. The whole scenes with him and Priscilla, the scenes with him and Rhodey. I think they fleshed it out a bit better there. But yeah, I'm in the boat like where I'm more optimistic now than pessimistic about how it's gonna end. Like
Okay.
I'm looking forward to next week. Like let's see.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, the acting it's great. Like Don Cheadle is killing it, Samuel L. Jackson is killing it, Olivia is killing it, Emilia's like everyone who's acting is acting their ass off, right? I just don't know if the show overall is delivering as I thought it would. But yeah, Blair, what are your thoughts?
It's not my favorite Marvel show, but I'm still really enjoying it. Like I don't. I think you're going to be hard pressed to beat. For me, you're going to be hard pressed to beat Loki, and
Fair.
and I really liked WandaVision, and so it's going to be. It'll be difficult to kind of top those, honestly. And Loki season 2 is about to come out, so I mean, but I can see what they're trying to do. I mean, first of all, I kind of like that they're giving Fury kind of like this his whole thing, because he's been a staple in the MCU, but he's still kind of been kind of a side attraction to all of the other superheroes. So I like that they're giving kind of his story and his existence and his character like a little bit more depth and a little bit more focus. I really hope they keep Olivia Colman, because she's just freaking fantastic and I love her, and she's so witty and she's such a great actress, and like I think she could do really, really great things as far as the dramaticism of the MCU. I mean, they're trying to be more dark and gritty kind of sort of with this show than they are with some of the other shows. Like you said, more drama
Yeah.
than necessarily like action or anything like that. But like I said, I like it. Like I think I like the way that they're doing Gravik as a villain because he's so like there's no monologuing, there's no
Yeah.
like horrible plan. Like when he shot Gaia, it was just like boom, goodbye.
Yep.
I'm not telling you my plan or monologuing for 2 minutes before I shoot you. Like it's just like I'm a terrible person, bang. Like
Yeah.
so I mean I like the writing. I've enjoyed the story. I just have honestly no idea how they're gonna end this. I really don't.
Yeah, I think the show definitely has potential to pull it together. And the other thing I really like about the show is the tone. Like I know, like
Yes.
people have complained about like the Marvel shows being too campy and too funny and jokey. Like this was like a darker tone show, and I really, really like that. So there are definitely things I like about the show. So we'll have to see if the show can deliver. But before we go, we did have a complaint about some of our shows. Last week we went to some event and we got to talk to some of our fans and some of our friends, and they were like, what do you want to see in our show and what do you not want to see? Like, what have we been doing right? One thing they talked about was the commercial. So we're going to go to a commercial break right now in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're back. All right. So now don't get mad at us because people got mad because we throw commercials out of nowhere. So we want to make sure that we do it right this time. So at the 30-minute mark.
We're going to get better over time with that. I know we just went 37 minutes without doing a commercial like that. We're going to get better over time. This episode will probably have less commercials for that reason. But yes, fans, we do listen to you, and we're going to get better, and we're going to keep improving every single day. And, just bear with us. We're like, we really don't know what we're doing, kind of wing the whole thing. But yeah, we're going to get better over time.
Also, if you don't want commercials at all, you can always watch us live in the chats where everyone's hanging out.
Exactly.
It's the life hack that Ruby's like, it's the life hacks.
Yeah, right? Watching live is a life hack here. Oops.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing that people said, they said they want more Easter eggs from us. So I have a list of Easter eggs, and we're going to go through them. So people said they want Easter eggs, so we're going to give them Easter eggs from now on. First Easter egg, we talked about a little bit. We noticed that the humans were the ones that are creating the Super Skrulls, not the Skrulls, because Gaia gets the mind, memory, and information from the human scientists, not the Skrull scientists. So the humans were the ones that were creating this Super Skrull, and the Skrull just got it. So that's an Easter egg that we know.
That was something that bugged my mind. Like, why did she have the memory of doing this?
It's the humans.
Why is a human? Yeah.
I wonder if they were trying to create Super Skrulls or if they were just messing with the superheroes' DNAs, like in different ways. Trying to figure out maybe how to put them into other humans or something like that.
I think they were trying to figure out how to put them under humans because they've been trying to make a super soldier serum forever and ever and ever. And this was probably another plot about super soldier serums where the Skrulls just intercepted it and made a super Skrull instead. So it's kind of something like that.
Yeah. Or it could be something darker, like the humans have known about the Skrulls for some time.
That could be
and
true also.
They figured out that, hey, they can adapt, which means their DNA is probably more adaptable than normal human DNA. So these would be the perfect test candidates, which is a whole other dark timeline if you think about it.
That is also dark. Yeah. The other one we talked about already, the Jonso resurrection. That was frame from frame, the same kind of shot. We talked about that. Yeah. The guy Carver who wrote that poem that they quote about being beloved on Earth, he actually wrote that while he was dying of cancer.
Yeah.
So that's pretty wild. So it definitely, definitely.
There was definitely a good callback there because Priscilla was dying and it hit hard.
Yeah. The other thing that I was an Easter egg was when Rhodes and Priscilla, the only two black people in that church, were there. They were singing "Deep River," which is a slave song. So it was really interesting to see a bunch of white Europeans singing a slave song. I thought that was really unique. That was pretty interesting too. I don't know if that was a church of Skrulls, maybe. I don't know, but there is a little bit of overlap about being, refugees and stuff like that, and how they're treated. It might be a link to why they chose that skin. So I thought that was really interesting. What else? We talked about the Undertaker and the DDT stuff.
Yeah.
Also, Priscilla's last name is Davis. The real Priscilla, not the fake Priscilla. The real
Right.
Priscilla who died. Her last name is Priscilla Davis. There could be a relation to Aaron Davis, who is the Prowler.
Oh, interesting.
Who was confirmed in Spider-Verse.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep. So that's a pretty cool one. And if you check the end credits, the scroll that plays Rhodey is called Rava. Rava is a character from the Skrulls. She is a popular character who basically, I think has some kind of royal like blood or something like that. So she may be a bigger character than we think. In fact, she may be the secret main villain for all we know.
That would be fascinating.
I bet her and Gravik are like a thing.
I can see that.
Could be. Also, Pappy Van Winkle drink is a real drink, and they actually mentioned it in She-Hulk. When She-Hulk, Jennifer gets her first promotion, her boss buys her that same alcohol. And
it's very expensive too.
Yeah, around $6,000. God damn.
Yeah.
That's a 2011 Honda Civic.
Yep.
I don't know why that was so specific, but yes.
That was a very specific, yeah.
Oh man. Let's see.
That's funny.
Let's see. Oh, when Gavik is shot right in the face and it comes back together, that's a shot for the Terminator T2 when he gets shot.
Oh, that's where I
Nice.
saw that.
Yeah,
I was like, that looks so familiar. Where have I seen that? Was that?
that's when
I don't
T2,
know.
the T1000 gets shot and then it comes back together. That was also a cool little Easter egg.
That makes
That's awesome.
sense, yeah. Because I knew I saw that somewhere. I just could not put my finger on it. But now that you mention it, I'm like, oh, yeah, duh. That makes perfect
Yeah.
That's
sense.
also a moment where you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
And you as well, like, oh god, how are they gonna get out of this?
Yeah. And then one thing that I thought was really funny, when Rhodes meets the president, there is a bodyguard with a broken arm in the background. Yeah, if you watch the episode before that, when Fury and Rhodes meet up, Fury broke his arm.
Fury broke his arm. That was a cool little callback.
Yeah.
Yes.
So here are all the Easter eggs, guys. See, now we do Easter eggs now. So you have a one-stop shop to get all your analyzation and reviews and breakdowns, but also your Easter eggs. We're doing it all, baby. Yeah.
Oh,
So
look at Travis, what he said in the comments.
Yeah.
I hope you're well. I love how Nick doesn't hesitate to shoot him right in the face despite their history.
Yes.
Yo,
That is a good
that's
point.
a very good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic call, Travis.
He is over Gravik right now.
Yeah, he's like just done with him completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh my god. Nick doesn't give a shit, man. He's that's why he's Nick Fury.
Yeah.
I will say that like the one thing that I keep waiting for him to like snap out of his funk because I'm so afraid that the next person they're gonna ice is Nick Fury.
No,
And,
I think he has plot armor. I don't think he's going to because he is in the Marvels.
I was gonna say I think he's in there, yeah, for sure. No, he is because he's the one that gets when they switch places with Miss Marvel and Tiona Parrish's character.
Unless the Marvel happens before Secret Invasion, like he was already up there.
No.
And because of
No,
what-
that's like present day because Miss Marvel was present day, and they switch places at the end of that show,
Yeah.
and that's what leads into the Marvels.
Okay. But okay, yeah, you're right. No, but then can Secret Invasion still be after it? Because what if the crazy stuff that happened to Nick Fury that made him leave Saber was what happens in Miss Marvel? I mean, happened in the Marvels.
It's possible, yeah. I mean, they don't really say like when this is taking place.
Because we would have to assume right after this, Nick Fury goes back up to Saber because he is in Saber in the commercials for the Miss Marvel. If he is there and whatever happens in that movie turns him off to Saber and then he comes back, I don't know. Miss Marvel might be filling in the gap, or it might be a continuation. I don't know. So I'm very curious how this is going to end.
Yo, check out this
Very.
comment Travis put in our comments. Like, check this out. That scene where Talos stabbed Gravik in the hand with Gaia outside. You know, before all this, Talos leaves ahead of him, and he has a decent head start. And he wonders if he talked to Gaia briefly, and maybe Gaia gave him Extremis as well, just in case. So maybe that's how they bring him back.
I need to go back and watch that timeline now that you say that, because I thought that they were implying when they showed it in this episode that she gave herself the Extremis powers right before she was
Shot.
basically escaping.
Yeah.
Like,
Right. And that's
she's
in
like-
Russia, right? So for Gravik
Yes.
to go to the UK, there is a bit of a time difference there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
like, I mean, obviously, like, Gravik, you know, he's superpowers, but he's not, like, super fast yet. I mean, there's no
Right.
Quicksilver
No.
power here or anything, so.
No,
Well,
no.
he may be, but like the rest of his people that he bringing along for his plot have to come. So
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Right. No, I'm going to have to go back and watch that because Travis brought up a very good point there. So, Travis
Yeah.
in the comments, thank you so much for that.
Mm-hmm.
Making us think.
Yeah,
think.
right? No, that's great. Like, I
revisit
love
the
this stuff.
episodes. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So, do we have any final thoughts about this episode? Anything we missed or anything we didn't talk about before we go?
I think we covered it all. I think we're in a good stopping point. One thing I do want to mention about Prowler, though, is that recently it came out that in the Spider-Man No Way Home Brazilian cut, right, where they were speaking Brazilian, they mentioned when Peter was in that apartment, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could hear the neighbors talking, and they mentioned two names. That's the name of Miles' parents. So this may have been
Nice.
yeah, they may have confirmed Miles Morales in like live action and by extension the Prowler. And then now that we talk about Davis' last name, there are a lot of Easter eggs and breadcrumbs here to hint that it's all coming together in
That's
the MCU.
interesting. But
Yeah.
but the only thing I have to say about that is that Miles' family lives in Brooklyn, not Queens.
Hey,
Oh.
just saying, man. That's what the Brazilian cut had. I'm just a messenger.
Oh well, it's the Brazilian wax version. They just took it off.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Blair, please let people know where they can find you.
You can find me at parkeraguilarlaw.com. That's my law firm's website. I honestly hope you guys never need my services, but if you do, that's where it is. And because I do all family law, and we have offices in Brazoria County and Fort Bend County, and we kind of do all southern Harris County counties, and
That's all South Houston, by the way, for
basically,
those of you
yes,
listening. Yeah.
yes.
Because
Yeah,
he lives in
South
Jersey. I'm in Houston. That's actually how I
Yes.
met Blair.
Yes, and Galveston, we do some at Galveston as well. But yeah, parkeraguilar.com, or I'm sorry, parkeraguilarlaw.com. See, I can't even get my own website right. And that is where you can find me should the need ever arise, but I truly hope it does not.
Wait,
Well, Blair, thank you for coming on.
I just saw
Yeah,
another
absolutely.
comment from Travis. This one's pretty
Yeah,
interesting.
we got to bring this guy on. This guy's
Yeah.
awesome. Like,
Travis, you got
Yeah.
some good stuff on here, man. Maybe we should have you on the show. He says, with the attack on Russia, home of Red Guardian and Yelena, and Agent Ross being Valentina's ex-husband, I wonder if we may see some of the Thunderbolts in the finale, as it would be a good motivation.
yeah, we got to bring this guy on. He has some
Hey, man.
solid comments.
That's a
They-
great idea. The other thing I was
They've been
thinking,
filming Captain America 4, so
Yeah.
I mean,
the
it's
other
very possible.
the other idea is, wouldn't it be great to see Olivia Colman go against Julia Louis-Dreyfus? I think them two would have crazy chemistry.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I
Yeah.
always thought it was crazy that they brought Valentina into the MCU because her and Fury have
Yeah.
a history, a big history, like in the comics. And I just was like, oh, we're going to have like a Samuel L. Julia Louis-Dreyfus romance going on in the MCU. That'd be great. So,
Yeah, I wonder if that, or maybe they just replaced Nick Fury with Alec Ross, and it's just going to be him, or he
That
could be a
too.
Skrull. He could be a Skrull for all we know.
yeah.
Oh man, that's what I really want to do. I want the show to give me this person's been a Skrull all along, mic drop, moment. Like that's what I want.
Mhm.
It was Tony Stark the whole time. You had no idea.
No, because he died and we saw him. But
Oh
I don't
man, the
know.
Deadpool rumors. Good grief.
Oh yeah,
That's a whole nother show.
yeah.
Ooh.
We'll be talking about Deadpool and Kamala Khan on Sunday a little bit, because she just came out with news just came out that she's gonna be doing her own comic for Miss Marvel. She's gonna be
Nice.
writing her own Miss Marvel run. That's awesome.
I'm
That
hyped
is
for
awesome.
That is really, really cool. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being on the show. And until next time, guys, Salaam nerds.
Peace.